Glory to Jesus Christ. Okay, so it's about 4:15 in the morning on a Thursday. It's Thursday, August 1, 2013. Of course, I was at the prison last night, and it went really well. We've been getting over 100 men coming, and then we only had I think we had about 8 women. But that's more normal, you know, there's far fewer women in the prison than the men. But thinking about actually going forward with my schedule, with our schedule rather, led me to some interesting realizations. Okay, so in the Orthodox Church, we celebrate on August 15th the Dormition of the Theotokos, which, if you're Catholic, that's Assumption of Mary. Okay, now that means I will not be in the prison. My priest will not be in the prison. And my buddy Sean will not be at the prison that night, I'm assuming, because we usually default to vigil. It's a major feast. It's one of the 12 great feasts of the church, so we default to vigil and skip the prison. The problem is that the gentleman who runs our program, who is Catholic, is going to be on vacation next week and the week of the Dormition. So what that means is, during the week of the Dormition, there's nobody to do the men's group. Because I really don't think that my buddy, I'm going to call her Jane, because I didn't ask her permission to use her real name. She's the other volunteer, the other woman that comes in. I'm going to call her Jane. Okay. I don't think she's going to come in there and do 100 men by herself. I mean, it's just not going to happen. And I don't blame her. I wouldn't do it either, I don't think. So, my priest may actually suggest to me to go in with Jane and do the men's group. But the issue is, and this is where we get into my views on gender, okay? It makes me a little nervous to do the men's group with no man teaching. This has nothing to do with any of that crap about, you know, traditional gender roles. I don't go for that, okay? That's ridiculous, I think. Just my opinion. But when you're dealing particularly with a large group of potentially rowdy, in some cases potentially violent people, it helps to have somebody who's, you know, a little bit stronger, a little bit more intimidating, a little bit louder, who can keep the session moving. And we actually have two, one's a current high school teacher and one's a former school principal actually, who understand classroom management, and they have really good skills in that area, so they can keep the session on target. If they have to eject someone, they do it, but they don't do it, you know, ad hominem, and they're good. They get mad, but not too mad. I'm really bad at that. I don't have good classroom management skills, so I would be worried that perhaps the session could get out of control. Now, the thought is then, of course, well, Daria, why don't you just ask one of the guards to come in there and sit with you guys? Okay, fair question. Here's the interesting thing, and this thought just popped into my head a couple minutes ago. This is one of those surprising things that I've learned through almost 4 years of prison ministry, which is, you'd think that having a guard in the room would make everyone behave, right? Because the guard has the power to send you to the hole, or the guard has the power to, you know, yell at you in front of everyone, or whatnot, or just try to keep things in order. That is actually not true in most cases. Because, yes, the guard has all that power, but guess what? The inmates resent the hell out of that guard. Okay? And so when that guard is trying to clamp down on whatever, you know, bad behavior is going on, the inmates are pushing back. So it could be, for example, if I saw somebody talking and I say, excuse me, you need to stop talking, they would stop talking, but if the guard says it, they're going to start an argument. And so then they're really going to derail the whole thing. It's an interesting psychological study, in my opinion. It's kind of like with teenagers, you know. Human beings are rebellious. We all are rebellious. We do not like authority, okay? And so specifically in the prison, you've got a demographic of people who do not have almost any control over their lives right now. And so they will try to squeeze that control out of anybody they can in any way they can. And that includes standing up to a guard in front of the other inmates, too. Because this is all about saving face. This is all about the hierarchy, the pecking order, you know, not being on the bottom of the totem pole lest you get raped in the shower. And I'm not joking when I say that, by the way. So, I have no idea what we're going to do in 2 weeks. I guess it's good to be thinking about it now, but I would hate for the men to miss a week. I really don't like that when they go without. But at the same time, it is visual. And it is one of the 12 great feasts, and, you know, I don't know. So I'd be interested to know if other volunteers have had similar experiences with the guards. You know, with that tension and mutiny among the, between the guards and the inmates, so. Food for thought, yeah.